Tumbad. So I'm going to give you exactly 2 minutes to quickly WhatsApp all your friends who are not in the hall right now to come, because this guy is the set designer of Tumbad. अभी काहे वाव बोल रहे हो? तुम लोग पढ़ के नहीं आए थे कि कौन-कौन स्पीकर्स है? Faculty, please note, students कुछ नहीं पढ़ते. So quickly, you have a minute. WhatsApp people. This is a session that I think you cannot, should not miss. An amazing guy. Ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, let's hear it for Nitin Chaudhary, production designer, art designer and illustrator, all the way to Kickstart, day 3 of Ahmedabad Design Week 3.0. Nitin, can we please have you on stage? Ladies and gentlemen, Nitin Chaudhary. Nitin, आपका एक felicitation होगा और फिर मेरे साथ होगा. तो मैं किसी को बुलाऊंगा स्टोल बोलने के लिए. Yeah. He's like, seriously, why felicitate? But we do it. So I would request Mukesh Singh, Assistant Director UID, to kindly felicitate Nitin with a stole and a veena. तालियां बजती रहनी चाहिए. Tumbad fans in the house, come on. Otherwise, I'll become that dadi. The Tumbad joke. We have an intro video for you as well. We're just like that, Nitin. बहुत छोटा video है. बहुत छोटा video. So guys, can we have an intro video for Nitin? Parth? Ladies and gentlemen, over to Nitin. Nitin, आप वहाँ से नहीं बोल सकते. And you instruct the team, they will play the PPT. Awesome. And when you're done, we do a Q&A.
Hello. Hi, my name is Nitin Chaudhary, as you've seen here. I have done few films in my last more than 10 years career. Only 3 films I have done. In total 5. First was Shape of Theseus. And Shape of Theseus, I've done only the publicity design. Then after I done Tumbad. It was my first film. And I got, not the national award, but I was nominated for that. And I got Filmfare for this. Thank you. It was my first film. I'm happy. Yeah, and then I've done Atrangire with Anand Rai sir. It was a very fantastic, I love Anand sir. He's a very good producer and a very good human being. I love him. And then I did one more project with the same director who did Tumbad. His new project with Raj and DK for Amazon OTT. It's called Ashwalinga. It's again a period. Can you hear me clearly? You guys, can you hear me clearly? Okay, thanks. Yeah. So I've done this Ashwalinga project with Raj and DK, and that project was also periodic and as a period fantasy. We did great job. I designed it completely. I did the production design there because I was busy with something else, with some other project. And then one more project which I'm currently doing is Project K. This is with Prabhash, Deepika and Amitabh sir. And it's a great experience, and it's one of the biggest film in India because we were preparing for that from last 2 years. 1 year for preparation, 1 year for sets. And we shot only 10 minutes till now. So it's great. Yeah. So basically, I what I really want to talk about here? That was a great question, but I didn't know. So it's just impromptu, and I want to tell about my journey and my struggles. Maybe from those things you can learn a little bit. Yeah. So my family is from Haryana, and they don't know anything about art. Anything about art. They don't respect the art at all. And my father is 6 feet 2 inches, and he is a professional wrestler, and he hates artists. That's how my journey starts. So one day he saw me drew, like I was drawing something, and he says, "Okay, maybe you can do something in art." And I was quite amazed that he is really appreciating that. But actually, he was appreciating himself, saying, like he was telling everyone that, oh, my kid is a great artist. He can make your, ये आपका फोटो बना देता है. आप जिसको भी देखो इसका फोटो बना देता है. एंड काफ़ी लोगों के मैंने पोर्ट्रेट बनाए हैं. मैं पोर्ट्रेट ही बनाता रहता था और मैं तंग आ, मुझे लगा कि मैं फ़ोटोकॉपी मशीन बन रहा हूँ. मतलब रोज़ कुछ ना कुछ. मैंने कहा पापा आपको बेटा चाहिए कि कैमरा, मुझे एक कैमरा खरीद लो, उससे अच्छा है. या सो उनका एक दिन पोर्ट्रेट बनाया तो उनको लग रहा था कि ये नाक मेरे जैसी नहीं है, ये आँखें ठीक नहीं है, मैं काला क्यों हूँ. मैंने कहा आप ऐसे ही हो. मतलब पोर्ट्रेट बना के इतना तंग आ चुका था. और जो डिज़ाइंस मैं बनाता था वो किसी को उतने एक्साइटिंग नहीं लगता था, क्योंकि वो वैसे नहीं थे जैसे मैं देखता हूँ. मैं उनको कुछ थोड़ा चेंज करने की कोशिश करता था. और घर में एक रिस्ट्रिक्शन होने की वजह से, जैसे पेरेंट्स टिपिकल हरियाणवी पेरेंट्स होते हैं कि नहीं करना है आर्ट, चलो किसी एजुकेशन में थोड़ा ध्यान दो और पढ़ो लिखो, कुछ गवर्नमेंट जॉब को पकड़ लो. तो इस लड़ाई में मैं हमेशा रहा और उन्होंने कभी मुझे वो चीज़ें प्रोवाइड नहीं की, लाइक जो आर्ट में हमें होनी चाहिए. तो मैं मोस्टली अपने पेन और पेपर पे ही पूरा रिस्पॉन्सिबल, मेरी वही जिम्मेदारी उठाते थे. तो ना कलर है, ना पेंट और कलर के लिए मुझे एक सेटअप चाहिए, वो जगह चाहिए. वो जगह नहीं थी मेरे पास. तो इससे हुआ ये दो चीज़ें हुई. एक कि मुझे पेन और पेपर की वजह से मुझे पेन से बहुत ही क्विकली ड्राइंग करना आया, लेकिन कलर की कमी रह गई. तो जब तक मैं कॉलेज पहुंचा तब तक मुझे कलर आता ही नहीं था. मैं 5 से 4-5 प्राइमरी कलर के अलावा कलर्स के नाम नहीं जानता हूँ. तो जब मैं कॉलेज में पहुंचा तो वहाँ पे कलर थ्योरी पढ़ा और कलर की कलर के बारे में और सीखा और ज़्यादा कुछ समझ नहीं पाया. तो मैंने अपने आप से एक बहाना लगाना शुरू कर दिया कि जो मुझे कलर पता है वही सही है, वही ठीक है. और उसी तो फिर मैं अपने पेंटिंग्स में वही कलर डालता था जो मुझे अच्छे लगते थे. क्योंकि कोई कहता है कि रेड ये रिप्रेजेंट करता है, रेड कभी लव करता है, कभी हेट करता है, कभी ऑरेंज ये करता है, कभी ब्लू वो करता है. तो मैं खुद ही कंफ्यूज हो गया कि मतलब कौन सा कलर करता क्या है, मतलब इतने कलर्स का करना क्या है. जो मुझे ठीक लगेगा हम वही डाल देंगे. अब स्काई को ब्लू रखना है कि येलो करना है कि पर्पल करना है, वो मेरी मर्ज़ी है, मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ. और जब मैं इस पूरे अपनी जर्नी को 3 हिस्सों में बांटता हूँ. एक पहला जब मैं छोटा था, जहाँ पे एक फादर थे जो नहीं चाहते थे कि मैं आर्ट करूँ. जब मैं कॉलेज में गया तो वहाँ पे वैसी रिस्ट्रिक्शन थी, जब वो लोग बोलते थे कि ये डालो या वो करो या ये फॉलो करो या वो फॉलो करो. और उसके बाद एक डीमोटिवेशन मुझे तब मिलता है जब प्लेटो के एक कोट, जब मैं हिस्ट्री ऑफ आर्ट्स पढ़ रहा था कॉलेज में, तो प्लेटो का एक कोट है जिसमें वो बोलता है कि आर्टिस्ट सोसाइटी में सबसे लास्ट आता है. और इट्स लाइक ग्रेट फिलोसोफर ऐसा बोल रहा है, तो मुझे बहुत बुरा लगा. मैंने कहा अभी इतनी मुश्किल से यहाँ पहुँचे हैं, अब वो ये बोल रहा है. वो क्या, उनका कहना ये है कि, और बात भी सही है, मैं सुन के भी काफ़ी हैरान और दुख भी हुआ और हैरान भी हुआ कि बात सच भी है। उन्होंने कहा कि आर्टिस्ट सोसाइटी में सबसे लास्ट में आता है, क्योंकि आर्टिस्ट जस्ट एक इमिटेटर है, वो ट्री को देखता है और ट्री ही बनाता है। लेकिन कारपेंटर ट्री को देख के चेयर बना देता है। तो कारपेंटर इज़ मोर इम्पोर्टेंट देन ट्री, देन एन आर्टिस्ट। वेरी हार्ट ब्रेकिंग। और उसने एक एग्जांपल दिया कि फॉर एग्जांपल अगर कल को वॉर हो जाती है तो वॉर के टाइम पे क्या इम्पोर्टेंट है। यू नीड सोल्जर, यू नीड स्ट्रेटजी मेकर, यू नीड farmers. Why do you need artists in that society? Yeah, like it makes sense. So I left college and I started my new struggle, that I really want to find out myself in my design and my fingerprints in my art. Nobody was accepting it. And then I went through few mediums of art and design. Like I've done illustration, then I started 2D animation, then I did 3D animation. I thought 2D, two dimension enough nahi hai. Go to third dimension to find out your art. But third dimension was also not enough. Again, when I went to, I got a job in one gaming company. Within 20 days, I need to leave that company again because the design जो वहाँ से मोस्टली आते थे वो बाहर से आते थे, डिज़ाइंस वहाँ से बन के आता था। उनका अगर टेक्निकल टर्म बोले तो हमें उसका काउंट ऑफ वर्टेक्स, उसके जितने भी साइज़ और उसका एक पूरा फ्रेम वहीं से तैयार होके आता था। और अगेन फिर मुझे लगा कि मैं फिर से वही एक लेबर बन रहा हूँ, मतलब फिर से वही करो जो है, वो जो सामने से दिया जाता है वही लेना, उससे आगे नहीं जाना। मैंने आर्ट छोड़ ही दिया। मैं फिर मुझे लगा कि शायद कुछ और करते हैं, तो मुझे लगा कि चलो बॉम्बे चलते हैं। बॉम्बे जाके क्या करेंगे, ये बात मेरे लिए ज़्यादा मुश्किल नहीं था, मेरे पापा के लिए ज़्यादा मुश्किल था कि अब क्या करोगे। तो हम बॉम्बे पहुँचे, मैं अपने फ्रेंड दीपेन से मिला, दीपेन यहीं पे। तो 2007-2008 में मैं वहाँ गया, लेकिन वो जगह थोड़ा मुश्किल तो है ही। वहाँ पे जाके आप नहीं जानते कि किससे बात करनी है, किससे मिलना है, कौन है। और आज तो फिर भी काफ़ी प्लेटफॉर्म्स खुल गए हैं, काफ़ी ओपनिंग्स है, काफ़ी उसके लिए ज़रिए हैं लोगों से बात करने के, मिलने के। उस वक्त काफ़ी कम था। 2010 तक मैं सोच रहा था कि मैं क्या करूं, और कुछ छोटी मोटी एड्स या कहीं फिल्म में एज एन एडी में काम कर रहा था। और आर्ट को मैं ऑलमोस्ट भूल चुका था कि मुझे करना ही नहीं था आर्ट एंड डिज़ाइन, क्योंकि वो कोई उसको अप्रिशिएट ही नहीं कर रहा था। लेकिन मेरा हाथ डिज़ाइन कभी रुकता नहीं है, तो मैं कुछ भी, कहीं भी पेपर मिलता है या दीवार मिलता है, मेरा अगर मेरे हाथ में पेन है, पेंसिल है या कुछ भी है, तो वो चलता ही रहता है। तो हमने मैं ऐसे कुछ स्केच कर रहा था ऑन ए वॉल, तो आनंद गांधी, वन ऑफ माई फ्रेंड हु इज़ अ वेरी गुड ह्यूमन बीइंग एंड ग्रेट राइटर, डायरेक्टर एंड प्रोड्यूसर, उन्होंने देखा कि अरे तू तो इंटरेस्टिंग कुछ कर रहा है। मैंने कहा यार मुझे अच्छा लगता है ये आर्ट। तो पहली बार मैंने देखा कि कोई उस तरीके की आर्ट को पसंद कर रहा है। और आनंद ने बोला तभी कि मैं एक फ़िल्म कर रहा हूँ तुम्बाड़, क्या तू उसमें डिज़ाइन करेगा। आई सेड यस, एंड दैट वाज अ ग्रेट अपॉर्चुनिटी। वो फिल्म की जर्नी बहुत लंबी रही। हमने 6 साल में उस फिल्म को पूरा किया, 6 से ज़्यादा साल उसमें लग गए। उसकी फ़िल्म की कहानी अपना में बहुत बड़ी है। अगर उसकी फ़िल्म की बात करें तो उसमें लगता है कि 6 साल ही लग जाएंगे बात करते करते, इतनी बड़ी कहानी है उसकी। लेकिन सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात ये थी कि जो लोग उस फिल्म में जुड़े हुए थे, जो जो लोग उसमें काम कर रहे थे, वो सब लोग उस प्रोजेक्ट से बहुत प्यार करते थे। मतलब हर कोई अपना बेस्ट पोटेंशियल लेके उसमें आ रहा था। डिज़ाइन, सिनेमाटोग्राफी हो या फिर राइटिंग हो, परफॉर्मेंस हो। इवन दो मैं प्रोड्यूसर का भी थैंक्स करता हूँ कि उन्होंने इतना पेशेंस दिखाया फॉर 6 साल तक, कि वो फिल्म को बार बार कुछ कभी रीशूट किया, कभी हमने उसको री एडिट किया, री राइट किया, और सबने मिलकर वो फिल्म को बनाया। एंड इट वाज अ ग्रेट एक्सपीरियंस थ्रू आउट द जर्नी। थैंक यू, that's all I want to say. Yeah. And can we see few of our images? Yeah, so this is the poster which I made for Ship of Thesis. Anand Gandhi, it's an Anand Gandhi film produced by him and directed by him, and it got national award. And the next one. These are the few images which I am currently working on. This is the next project. One is called Ashwalinga, the right side one. This is not working. No. And this is from the Project K, one of our alien character, which we designed. So I designed character also and the set. Okay? Yeah. And these are my films, Atrangire and Tumbad. These are my sketches which nobody likes. And they are colorless. Oh, I'll tell you. This is according to me, this is my mother, the first one. Second one is me. This is my brother. And that guy is my father. And she's my sister. So, I have a very emotional story about this particular sketch because I always saw her standing when we guys were playing in the ground. Because of our cultural restrictions and all, girls are always standing and watching the game. They never plays with us. So that's my feeling for her. And she's my mother shaping my sister, having this cultural burden on her head. Yeah, so this is the sketch which I made for Tumbad, the grandmother room. Have you seen that grandmother room? Yeah. So this particular sketch has one story because when we supposed to shoot that scene, that particular scene, the producer backed out. He said like he can't spend more, and he said like leave this set. We can go ahead. I said no, this is my art. And for this particular set, we literally in our art team we collected some fund and make this set. And it's a beautiful set. We can see it in front. This is the one. Yeah. Even though there is a heart hanging around this tree of the grandmother, that heart we built ourselves. With the help of some balloon, we gave the breathing motion. Oh, yeah, I got the production design award. These are the few, one of the projects which I am basically leading. I'm doing one music video. These are the characters from that music video. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Yeah, so that's it from my side. And yeah. It's okay, it's okay. I'm not a public speaker, I must tell you. Everybody knows that now.
So,
Cool.
Nitin, we're good
Yeah.
for questions?
Please.
सवाल so before we have before that Parth क्योंकि माहौल बन चुका है, can we just remind everybody and play the trailer of Tumbad once? Parth, can you play Tumbad for us, Parth?
Thank you. Oh,
Volume. Whoa. Woo.
thank you. And this kid, the Samad, who was the son of this Vinayak, was the grandmother in the film.
Really?
He played both the role, yeah.
He played the grandmother.
Yeah,
Did you guys know that? The kid played the grandmother. Oh, wow.
yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
He looks great with the prosthetic, yeah.
Huh?
We did prosthetic.
The prosthetic that
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I see. That's brilliant. So before we get to any questions, we were discussing this, and you said कि there is a story कि भाई बहुत time लगा the whole logic of set design, Tumbad, and I think Prabhas ke saath bhi you're working on a film, right?
Correct, correct.
Which has like Prabhas
Project
is
K.
Bahubali, hai na?
Yeah, yeah.
Haan. So I just wanted to understand this whole logic of time dimension and how does it affect the consistency in the set, Nitin? I'm going to come to you. Sir.
Yeah, it's my bad luck. I think I choose good or bad, but I choose those long projects. I think these projects, I choose them because they demand me. That's only the reason is because I believed in Tumbad. That's why I was stuck with that for 6 years. I believed in this project K, and I know it's going to take at least 5 to 6 years.
Oh.
We know that. Director knows that. Producer doesn't know. But we all know. You know. We are experienced in that. So I do only those projects which challenges me.
मतलब we say ना जेम्स कैमरून ने 14 साल लगाए अवतार बनाने को. So is there something associated with the fact that जितना time लगे उतना शायद?
No, it's not that. I think if you want to make a good film with it's not about a limited budget. Project K has a good enough amount, but not like any Hollywood film. It's like still 1/20th or 1/50th of the budget of any good Hollywood film. But to make something good, you need time or money and passion. So you can leave one. If you leave money, and then you need to choose passion and time. So we choose passion and time. So yeah, we are working.
Awesome. And could we have the mics? Yes, just give us a second. Yes, of course. We have time for questions. Can we have 2 mics? ADW? Why are you carrying both?
Hi. So since a lot of our students are interested in going into art direction, I think this question is from all of them. Could you throw some light on what kind of research or recce goes into the planning for a film, especially a period-based film or a film that is based in a region or maybe a different time zone? So how do you go about sourcing for it? What is the process? Or how do you conceptualize it?
Yeah. So the research, definitely everyone does their hard work to get all the research. We sometimes hire a team to get the research, or maybe sometime from our team also does that. I will talk about one thing which really helped me a lot in specifically Tumbad, some of the Tumbad sets. When we are shooting, we are making the set of Vinayak house, and that compound also is there. So we started with carpenter, and we bought some wood, real wood, and carpenter was doing his thing, making those stuff and those pillars. And we have expert painters who can really age them well. They looks really old, but they are not old. When you see through, like you touch it, you can feel it. So I was very particular about that. If I can't feel that thing is old, I really change it. So what I did, I went to Satara, and there is a lot of mention which has those old kind of woods and those pillars. So we bought them and we placed them there, and it was cheaper than those carpenters, and aging and those expenses are more than just to buy them and place them. So that's one mantra which I learned, and I always use that. I buy old stuff and place them. I don't make old stuff, because if you see a wood 30 years old, how do you make it 30-year old? It should be 30-year old, because it has that the DNA, I think. Like, if somebody touches it, that I think the impression is there, the touch is there. If you just paint it or do something, it looks fake. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
So firstly, I would like to thank you for bringing in the Plato quote.
Thank you.
Because I have a similar encounter with that quote by Plato. And in our art college, while studying art and aesthetics and learning that line from Plato and changing the way I look at my own practice. But the question I wanted to ask you is that we look at Bollywood or the film industry as a kind of a specialized field. People are, there's an impression that, like Yatra was talking about, the fact that, our students would want to go into production design, so what do we have to learn from?
I'm really sorry, you are not clear.
Like Yatra was saying, that our students would have to want to go into production design and what do we teach? However, what I have seen, and it also comes from your journey, that a lot of students who are, a lot of people who are from fine art background are excelling in Bollywood right now and doing really good work, like Sumit Purohit. They are all people who have not really been trained, but there seems to be an edge. Like when like it's the drawing skill, but what you are implementing on the screen is like a proper set design. Yeah. And you are not actually technically trained for that, but you seem to be having an edge, which brings in a difference to the industry, and you get that cutting edge. Can you talk about that a little bit, please?
Your question, I think you are asking that as an artist you have an edge, and I don't have experience in that.
No, so basically things that we are not trained to do. The things that our college never trained us to do.
Yeah. In college.
But how we can enter the industry and be able to do it, and what edge, and how does it happen? Because there are a lot of people, coming from like learning painting or learning sculpture and doing very, very well in Bollywood. That journey.
So specifically, if you study production design, there is very few colleges who has this course, like FTI and maybe one or two colleges, not more than that, and they have only 10 to 20 students per year. And there is a lot of vacuum for other, a lot of space for other technical people. And also, I don't think so that only who studied production design can do this job, because it's very, very, very much like kind of a personal when you design something, and that the making and the whole structure, you can go there and work with some professional for a year. You can understand that it's just about experience, or like you are just 1 year away from that experience. And as a production designer, you don't need to go and build the set. So we have like a full hierarchy system team, like production designer under those art directors, then assistants, then assistant art directors. So everyone does their job. You just need to really convey your idea to the not to the producer, but at least you should be very close to your subject, your film, your story.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Am I audible, sir?
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So my name is Dr. Nishant. So मैं philosopher by profession हूँ.
Okay.
Yeah. So आप प्लेटो के बारे में जो बता रहे थे.
किसके बारे में?
प्लेटो उसने
Plato,
कहा
yeah.
कि आर्टिस्ट लैडर में सबसे लोअर पे, राइट? एंड ही पुट फिलोसोफर्स ऑन द टॉप, राइट? सो मेरा लाइक क्वेश्चन, ये कमेंट है एक्चुअली, कि जो आर्टिस्ट होते हैं, सो ही दे आर ऑल्सो फिलोसोफर एक्चुअली, बिकॉज दे थिंक. ओके, सो आई थिंक आर्टिस्ट आर ऑल्सो ऑन द टॉप ऑफ द लीडर. So don't underestimate any artist, like क्योंकि philosophy is what, love for wisdom, right? फिलोसोफर जो लिखते हैं वो आप लोग क्रिएट करते हैं. एंड आप जो वॉर का एग्जांपल बता रहे थे, तो देन an artist can question why war at a first place at all. There is no war. We don't need war. So only artist can, create something. And I think artists are at the top of the ladder. So don't think like.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Like,
so
I think-
artists. Yeah. For me, artists are also a philosopher.
I think Plato and my father was on the same page. They were friends. And art is not just painting or doing like these fine arts. Artist is, everyone is an artist, I think. Like if you write something good, if you dance, writing, acting, everything is art. And even though designer is art, like architect is art. So, yeah.
Look, there are many hands being raised. There's one there. Yeah. And then please send a mic this side as well. अच्छा बहुत लोग हैं, sorry. हाँ, बिल्कुल. Sir, if it's okay, can we give backbenchers a chance and then you? Yeah. हाँ, you. My God.
Okay. So I've seen some of your art, like it's sort of like a concept kind of thing. So how do you ideate on whatever like you're going to draw beforehand? Like, do you have any? Like, of course, you're gonna have some kind of an idea before you're gonna draw whatever you're gonna draw, but the outcome is like so bizarre in a way, like.
नितिन सुनाई दिया ना?
Yeah, थोड़ा कम. So you're
Yeah, जोर
saying
से
that
बोलोगे?
art-
जोर से बोलो.
Yeah, so your design, the sketches that you've made, you have an idea, of course, before you draw one thing. But then when you're drawing it out on the paper, like it's so bizarre. Like the outcome is good. Like how do you, like whenever I sketch, I don't have this kind of an output that you have. But how do you?
Yeah, I got your point. So basically, as I said, when I used to draw, nobody accepted what I drew. Like they thought that कि ये क्या बना रहा है, क्या कर रहा है. But that to break, first you need to learn and then unlearn. That's the whole exercise to get there. And you don't need to listen to anyone. That's the first rule. सब लोग को लगता है ये गलत है, वो सही है, वो सुनना ही नहीं है, सीधी बात. Or like how you will reach there, that kind of art, that was your question?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, like, you're a professional, of course, but when you were developing throughout the years, how did you find that kind of art style? How did you find yourself so much more different than other people, their sketches and their way of portraying their mental state?
There is a lot of artists who does that kind of work. It's not that only me which makes that kind of sketch. But for me, I don't do it purposely. I don't even think that I'm going to draw something like this. I'll start, and from my subconscious mind, I finish it. If I think about my father and start drawing it, I don't think that, okay, head should be there, leg should be there, whatever I feel, whatever emotion comes in my mind, it just translates through pen. I don't control my pen when I draw.
So it just automatically happens. So it automatically happens. Like you just like start drawing and then it just like you just know what to draw next.
No, I just choose a subject and then I leave my pen to draw. Like I don't guide the pen. That it's little complex, but there is no from your subconscious mind until your pen. There should not be a guidance, I think.
What
Thank-
would you
Thank you. Sorry, we want to give others a chance. We have just a spot
Just
for
one-
more
just-
question.
just one.
I know it's not right, but we just have for one more person. Yeah. Nitin, are you going to be around for some time?
We'll meet outside. No worries.
Exactly, he's here. Awesome. Just one last question so that we are, yes, to the lady there. नितिन आप हो ना थोड़ी देर
हाँ
आप थोड़ी देर हो ना
sure.
हाँ so
First, thank you so much for being here. A huge fan of Shape of Tejas and
Oh, great. Thank you.
definitely Tumbar.
Thank you.
Firstly, I never knew about that both of the production, the designer was the same. I had to Google up the day I had watched Tumbar for the first time. People are talking about Rahi Anil Barve, his
Correct.
madness, his artwork, and I had to Google up that who is the person behind so much of craze. It's a crazy idea. So my
Thank you.
thing is like when I observed, I felt there was a sense of theatricality, a kind of dramatic effect in it. Is it? Do you have a theatrical?
There is a
background?
genuine and I didn't get you. There is a
Theatricality, a dramatical effect in most of your work. Like even in your art, in your drawing, I felt that there was amazing drama in it. So do you?
I see, even though I don't know what I do, but I can just assume and I can see. I look for beauty in reality. I don't compromise on realism. And somehow it gives me a different kind of texture in the film. If you see all the posters of my 4 films, they have a fingerprint of a signature kind of thing. So I just realized when I did, even though Atrangire was not demanding anything. It was just a good commercial film. But when we were shooting in Mathura, I don't know why I said, okay, we should have rain. We should have this, there was a mention which we need to paint and get ready. I'll tell you one story. So when I went there, the mansion was dilapidated and very cringy and texture was there. So production asked me like, how much paint do you need? Because it's a big space. I thought like maybe 500, 300 liter of paint. He said, okay, theek hai, because like that much you need for that space. But I loved that texture on the wall, and it's like that Haveli in the script was old. It's not a new, fresh one. So to just उसको प्रिजर्व करने के लिए, उस टेक्सचर को प्रिजर्व करने के लिए, I think कम से कम 4-5 हज़ार लीटर पानी हमने वेस्ट किया, क्योंकि हम एक थिन बहुत ही पतला लेयर में उस पर मारना चाहता था पूरे वॉल पे, ताकि वो पेंट उसको कवर ना कर ले, उसके जो ग्रेन्स है उसको वो चला ना जाए, वो लेयर रहे वहाँ पे. और एट द एंड भी हमने 50,000 लीटर या कुछ पानी डाला होगा और पेंट सिर्फ 20 लीटर 30 लीटर खर्च हुआ होगा. तो प्रोडक्शन का कंप्लेंट ये था कि इतने पेंट का मैं करूँ क्या, और पानी इतना खर्च हो गया. तो yeah, to just whenever I see something like which is real, I don't want to like I want to keep it as much as real. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the time we have. But as I said, Nitin is there, and generally, art directors, set designers are nice people. They're accessible, so there's going to be no crowd. So, feel free to connect with him and ask him questions, right, Nitin?
Yeah,
So,
sure.
thank you so much, and I'm going to
And
quickly
thanks
end.
for making me always available, as you said.
Oh, I
I'm
didn't mean it
outside.
that way, but I'm sure. Yeah, you're welcome, guys.
Thank you.
I'd like to call Kiran Jha, Assistant Professor UID, to kindly deliver the quick word of thanks.
Nitinji, your humble beginning from a non-design background resonates the challenges that a lot of us have faced. From there to getting a Filmfare Award for your film is a truly motivating journey for us. Thank you for sharing your journey.
Thank you so much, Kiran. We're ready to start with Kedar Nimkar in exactly 2 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, Kedar is the founder of AudioGyan.com and Vice President Design, Jupiter Neobank. Allow us 2 minutes to reset the stage, requesting all of you to make sure you call your friends and classmates for the next amazing session.
And then one day, my grandmother mistook my grandfather's medication.
2000, the supervisor of elections for Palm Beach County, Florida, was tasked with designing a ballot with more candidates than could fit on a single column. It wound up looking like this. It was called a butterfly ballot because of the way the text occupied 2 columns. If you were voting for Bush, the form made enough sense. To pick the first candidate, you punched in the first bubble. But then to vote for the second candidate on the list, Al Gore, you had to punch in the third bubble. See the problem? The Palm Beach Post estimated that over 2,800 Gore voters accidentally voted for Pat Buchanan.
A number of voters here in Palm Beach County have filed lawsuits asking for a new election because they claim that they either voted for the wrong candidate or double punched their ballots because of confusion over the ballot design.
Bush won Florida by a margin of 537 votes. Better typography here arguably could have changed U.S. history.
And then one day, my grandmother mistook my grandfather's medication. She got confused and thought that it was hers. They both have the same initials, Helen and Herman, so H. Adler. The packaging looked practically identical. When I looked inside my grandma's medicine cabinet, it was obvious to me that this needed a redesign. And it really wasn't a problem that a pharmacist or a healthcare worker could fix. It was a design problem.
What is your assumption, or when do you see this gap getting reduced where the demand and the supply of good designers is balanced out?
So I don't. Okay, so if you look at the scale of the country, 1.25 billion, 1.3 billion population country, we have a we have, our industry has been continuously growing for the last 20, 30 years at the rate of 7, 8, 10, 12, 14%. For a country of this size, in terms of population as well as industry, we need a large number. I would, if I have to take a guess, something like 10 million designers is something that we probably need. At least 5 million designers is something that we would be looking for. We are probably right now, in terms of numbers, somewhere around maybe 20,000 designers.
That's a massive
as a country. Okay, I don't know how you count a designer, but that's, if you look at it, that's the huge gap basically that we have.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, we are not even 2% there, I would say.
Since you mentioned in the Indian context, I'm going to particularly pick two examples. One is the age-old example of this container, which we normally call lota. Now you will say, okay, lota is a simple object, right?
Correct.
But have you ever wondered who designed the lota? And it's a wonderful product. It's a very simple product. It can hold water. It can hold milk. It can hold oil. It can hold grain. It can measure water, half a liter, 1 liter, and so on. It can measure amount of grain, half a kg, 1 kg, and whatever. So it can measure weight, it can measure volume. Right? It's ergonomic. It's very easy to hold. It's got that wonderful lip. With that lip, it gets a wonderful form. It's easy to hold, probably in hand or maybe on your waist.
Correct.
You've seen women carry it in probably rural areas.
Correct.
Right? So that's the evolution of the design of the lota. Right? The fluid within the lota, because of the specific shape, it kind of prevents it from splashing over. So it kind of controls the fluid dynamics. And when you pour this water or oil or milk from the lota, it makes a wonderful sound.
Correct.
Isn't that great design?
Yeah.
And that design is made locally. It's produced by artisans around, and it's available even today after centuries. Now, that's a great, sensible piece of design.
But 2-3 things that happened. One was a lot of these soldiers went out of the Balad Estate port during 1914 to 1919. Secondly, it all happened in that small little island of South Mumbai where, you had a lot of theatre happening at that point of time. And third was that was also a period of time where you had the international freedom struggle at its sort of height. And many things were happening at that time. So you had Tilak and, the entire Ganpati Mahotsav. You had Gandhi just returning. Then from this side, you had Ambedkar. Then the formation of the RSS in 1915 and Hindu Mahasabha. And then 1925 Communist Party. So all this is happening in that small little space. And what is gluing them and binding them all together is theatre.
ये शुड कहाँ से आया है इसमें। तो शुड जो है ना वो मुझे जनरल चीजों में भी नहीं पसंद है, आर्ट और इसमें तो बिल्कुल ही पसंद नहीं। व्हाई शुड आर्ट लर्न फ्रॉम सोसाइटी, व्हाई शुड सोसाइटी लर्न फ्रॉम आर्ट? इट्स जस्ट इट हैपेंस। ओके, जहाँ पे आप शुड नहीं लगाएंगे, आप किसी को बोलें कि दिन में 5 बार पानी पीना है, अब ना बोलें तो क्या वो पानी पीना छोड़ देगा? नहीं होगा ना ऐसा। सो वो खुद होगा। जो चीज नेचुरल प्रोसेस है उसके बीच में शुड आना is basically putting your own prejudice, putting your own expectations onto that natural process. मैं बॉम्बे के बीच में रह के आर्ट बना रहा हूँ, मैं दिल्ली के बीच में रह के आर्ट बना रहा हूँ, मैं लखनऊ में रह के आर्ट बना रहा हूँ। ये सारी चीजें शहर और सोसाइटी के बीच में हो रही हैं, वो मुझे इन्फ्लुएंस कर रही है, इसी वजह से आर्ट बन रही है। सो देयर इज नो वे आई कैन स्टॉप दैट।
A multi-script country like ours offers an exciting and challenging opportunity for type designers. Multilinguality is actually unavoidable in India. It is a need rather than a choice. I'll give you 2 examples. When I went to Chennai, I was absolutely awed by the Tamil lettering that I saw. But since I am not a Tamil reader, I did not understand anything. Even in public places like bus stands, all the information was only in Tamil. On one hand, I loved the way regional script was given prominence. But on the other hand, it was a problem for a non native like me. I'll give you another example. If you have noticed, printed safety instructions on domestic flights in India are available only in English and Hindi, and in some cases in Braille. But what about other languages? And this includes basic safety instructions like life jackets under your seat. It's not that all the people who travel on flights understand either Hindi or English. I understand if one has to face this situation in another country. But why should it happen in your own country? It is a challenge not just for type designers, but for any communication designer to communicate in multiple languages or multiple scripts in India.
We all took 3 pledges and we said this is what we'll implement in our everyday life. So the first pledge that I took was that no problem is small or big to solve. So you have to begin at your backyard. Our backyards are full of problems. So through design, if we can solve even a smallest of problems, it's worth it. Even if you make improvement in one person's life using design or design thinking, it's worth it. Nothing is big or small. We are not doing it for getting Nobel Prizes. We are doing it for making a positive difference, right? Second was that we will piggyback on a commercial project to do some social impact wherever possible. But I'll just give you an example. So in those days, we were working a lot on some Procter & Gamble projects, and they also had an initiative called Shiksha, which was for school children. And we managed to ladder up a few ideas around that Shiksha initiative, along with the projects that we were working on. And it sailed through really well, and we were able to impact through those projects. And the third pledge is doing well by doing good. Okay. So there is this belief that if you are into social impact work, there is no way that you're going to do well commercially. And that's a myth, right? I mean, a lot of people have proved that now.
Yeah.
In the recent times, social impact doesn't mean a jhola and, a khadi kurta and running in under the sun. It also means many other positive things. So that was the third one, that we try and find opportunities, try and whatever you're doing, do good. So don't, just by not doing anything negative is also creating a social impact.
Correct. Looking at speculative fiction around how time will play out in the Indian context, like design for 2035, right? So we're trying to figure out 2035 as a year for us to create design processes, create intellectual property, create things to respond to, create provocations, put out work regularly that is from an Indian future. It's not coming from Palo Alto. It's not coming from, the driverless car kind of future. It's coming from farmer cyborgs, right? It's coming from guys who've experimented with surgical implants to sense soil health because they've lost their family in farmer suicides. So these are the kind of topical responses that one could create as future speculative scenarios. And so this is something we're also very interested in. Like something I've been doing since 2003, in fact, is speculative fiction, right? Like we write science fiction, but it's written from a design perspective. It's not written from a Hollywood studio perspective, right? So it's essentially very lived science fiction. Like what's the fiction of a Xerox guy today? What is he going to do in 2035? What are his skills? How can he be reskilled? What is the future of work? What is the future of cities? What is the future of craft? So all these kind of really, really interesting small inquiries, they lead into much larger realizations.
It can be extremely solved. When I did those poor houses, my design was to empower them. So what is empowering? Empowering is the person who has nothing and suddenly somebody gives him a hope. So the moment he has hope, he gets excited. Then moment he is excited, and if there is a plinth given to him with a water tap and a kitchen or toilet area and electric current, suddenly his wife would say that, well, why don't we really have something to do and why don't we go and work and get some money? Now, new ideas have come, hope has come, enthusiasm come, and now they want to be independent. So design also gives you choices to be yourself which are dormant within you.
आवाज का जन
Science after leaving school.
Thank you, sir.
Can you? Yeah, absolutely.
So I have a question. So when the craft is thrown in water, how does it exactly go towards the person who is drowning? Like, what is the mechanism that is employed?
In the last video, you saw somebody with a console. So it's like a drone. So something which is flying there, there's a guy who's with a joystick and moving it around, right? So we have a similar thing. It's a radio frequency controlled, remote controlled drone, is what I would say.
Thank you.
So just for your information, on the 10th, you'll actually get to see a helicopter drop at the Sabarmati riverfront. I don't know what the location is. And all the other days, there'll be somebody just throwing it in the water, not with a chopper. But yeah, in case you're interested, you'll also get to see it at the Defense Expo at the DRDO booth.
Thank you very much, Satish. Sir, is there a question? Okay, we'll give. Oh, there are two. Satish, sir, are you okay? Can we take two more questions? Sure. Awesome. Bansri ma'am. And then someone else also raised their hand behind. Yeah. वहाँ पे दे दो.
So I was asking कि if we want, can we automate the drone so that it can see the human and we just have to deploy it with a single button and no one has to control it actually?
All part of the future plan. But
is that a possibility?
Yes, there is. But, then the kind of sensors required, because you want thermal sensing, and you have water which is against a thermal thing. So there's a lot of debate which is going on saying that, can it be absolutely automated? The question is yes, but right now we don't have an answer how to do it. But the dialogues we've already started talking to some domain experts on that right now.
And one last question, Bansri ma'am there, Professor Bansri.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. My question is very similar to what he asked. Like, do you see any scope of artificial intelligence can be used, or because what I was imagining, like a whole sheep is drawing, and there is no one who can operate that gadget to save people. So if that can be used, or if it can be even managed manually?
No, so that's a major disaster. So this is for somebody who's just drowning. Something like what Titanic happened, just one or two buoys will not do your job. And yes, right now we still don't have an answer for a fully AI kind of or machine learning as well. But eventually, I think there'll be one day where we'll have sensors which will detect the human actions. So in fact, I was talking to the gentleman yesterday saying that, can I detect, somebody who's drowning using his suit yesterday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We will have to wrap it if that's okay, because there's a long panel discussion post-lunch, right? But Satish sir will be open to questions. I'm sure you can connect with him. Without further delay, I'd like to call Dr. Rikmi, Associate Professor UID, to kindly deliver the word of thanks.
It's my honor to offer the vote of thanks on behalf of UID and Karnavati University for this amazing session. Being from Assam, I was visualizing totally this project as a kind of a mass scale so that this can add value to the people who's drowning every year in flood. Not to mention about Assam and Bihar for sure. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, for Gokhale sir. And yes, the announcement you've all been waiting for. We do an early lunch. I can see already chips packets being opened. You don't realize that standing here, I have better visuals than a drone. I can see food, I can see cozy moments there. But we break for lunch, ladies and gentlemen. I see you at 1:45 sharp. Please be here on time for a brilliant panel discussion moderated by our own Lolita ma'am. I see